Girl, your girl is looking cute today. Crazy. Hey guys, it's your girl Jared. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about my experience with DMT. So for those of you who don't know what DMT is, here is a little explanation. I stumbled across DMT about a few years ago. I was on some sort of spiritual journey, kind of like searching for answers to never-ending questions, like, yeah. So yeah, I was on this kind of like spiritual journey. It kind of started off with like my sleep paralysis. Yes, I get sleep paralysis. I know there's a lot of scientific explanations when it comes to sleep paralysis, but I kind of lean towards more the spiritual side of it. I definitely will go into detail about my sleep paralysis experiences in another video, but today it is all about the D to the M to the T. So I spent my time researching for about a year, like a good year and a half. I didn't kind of like seek to do it straight away. I kind of wanted to educate myself because it just seemed very, very different to anything else. I've never actually tried any drugs before. I've smoked weed. I don't really class weed as a drug. So yeah, apart from weed, I've never done any sort of drugs or anything like that. So I have nothing to compare it to. But when I've kind of researched, watched a couple documentaries, especially the Spirit Molecule documentary in particular, I'll link that down below for those of you who are intrigued. I was kind of taken aback by scientists being like, guys, we have no explanation for this. We've done it and this is like nothing we've ever experienced before. This is not any hallucinogen or psychedelic drug. This is actually a whole different experience and it has actually changed me in some way. And also the fact that it's found in our pineal gland, in our brains and all living organisms, that's what really sparked my curiosity. I knew that I wasn't going to find some sort of clarity to my never-ending questions about the universe, but I just felt like if I do this, I'm going to be a lot closer than I was before. Me and my friend used to speak about it quite a lot because she was also on some sort of spiritual journey. So we used to always talk about it and be like, wow, we should really try this. So one day we got a hold of it off of someone close to her who knew their way around the dark web. So we got a hold of it. We got the crystal form of DMT. Bearing in mind the research that we did kind of told us that, you know, you should really do this in a nice, calm place. You should really be in a good space, eat loads of fruit and vegetables. We literally had McDonald's that afternoon and we was in a flat in East London, which was next to the motorway with all these cars and stuff. So it wasn't very peaceful and it wasn't very serene and comfortable, the setting, but we decided we're just gonna do it anyway. So before my actual breakthrough experience, I did try to smoke the crystal form of DMT twice before. And that experience was very mild, I would say. I was still very present in the room and, you know, I felt like all my six senses were working in accordance to the reality that I was currently in. I saw a couple colors and they felt really warm and they felt like energy was coming off of them and I felt really cute and like loved and stuff and I was giggling, but yeah, it wasn't anything that I would say, yeah, that was my ultimate experience of it. The time that I had my breakthrough was when I was acting as a shaman for my friend while she was doing it, and she did it and she had a little experience and I just felt like I was really comfortable and, you know, I wanted to do it. The times before I was really nervous, I was really scared, so I didn't really push myself to actually take the dose I was supposed to take. So I just kind of like, yeah, I'm done. This time I was feeling a lot more comfortable and relaxed and just positive about the experience, I guess. So I inhaled the smoke 3 times. And on the 3rd time I inhaled the smoke, I was already feeling like I was glued to my seat. I was feeling like a gravitational pull into the sofa. I felt like I was vibrating and the room was just like humming like a zzz. That's not a hum. It was like zizzing, like zzz. And I just kind of let go and just closed my eyes, because by then my eyelids were so heavy, there was no way I was keeping my eyes awake. But just as I was closing my eyes, I was kind of just seeing the room sort of disappear, and I was seeing lots of equations almost popping up, like you know how scientific equations and algebra equations look like? I was just seeing all these different equations popping up as I'm closing my eyes. And when I've closed my eyes, I was in complete darkness, and I started to see colors sort of pop up like they did before in my first two experiences. But this time there was so many just popping up everywhere. It was like this time I didn't really feel any. I felt energy coming off the colors, but it was more like I felt like I was being watched. I felt like I was naked in the middle of an auditorium and everybody is just staring at me. I didn't feel that sort of love and energy that I was feeling before. It was kind of just like, okay, I'm here and I'm looking at you guys and you guys are looking at me, and what's going to happen next? In the middle there was this Buddha-like thing, and it was neon. It was all sorts of neon colors, and it was just sitting in like that kind of Buddha-like stance. And I was just thinking, what the hell is that? And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Before long, I felt like I was an ant standing in front of it. I just felt so small standing in front of this thing, sitting there like this, just looking at me. And then I heard like a massive horn. It was like, bah! Like so loud, in my ear, in my head, everything. At that moment, I felt my body go limp, and I just knew that I was gone now. This is it, I'm in this. And I just started flying as, I don't know what the hell I was, like a ball of light or a ball of energy, or my soul, I don't know. At that point, I just realized that my soul has left my body and I'm in this, like, I'm in this. And I started flying through this Buddha-like thing that was sitting there when the horn sounded. And I just started flying through this sort of tunnel. It was just a tunnel full of so much color, all these different shapes popping up, and I was flying what felt like the speed of light through this tunnel. And as I'm going through this tunnel, I'm stopping off into all these sort of intersections and bouncing around this room, these different rooms. It felt like I was kind of like trying to check out my surroundings, because I just got so scared and so tense and trying to just hold on to like what I knew, that I didn't want to let go at all. I was just like, what is going on? My mind could not process what was going on because everything was happening so fast. And I'm bouncing into all these different rooms and then going back into this tunnel, and I was just thinking to myself, wow, Jared, what have you done? Like, what is going on? And in that moment where I'm trying to process everything that's going on, my mind felt like a rubber band and that it was going to snap. And I just remember thinking to myself, Jared, whatever happens, babes, you can't even focus on that. You actually need to concentrate on not letting your mind snap at this point. Otherwise you might go crazy, or you might end up in a coma. Who the fuck knows? Because I don't know where I am, and this is something I've never experienced before. This is not anything that I know of existing. I remember trying to hold on to my mind so that it wouldn't snap, and in that moment I started to try and force my eyes open, or whatever was in this section of my face, I was trying to force it open. My friend said that I was like completely out the whole time, like my eyes were closed. So I don't know how I was able to kind of open my eyes in the state that I was in. But when I did open my eyes, or when I thought I was opening my eyes, it felt like I could see my friends, but they just felt like a whole world away. They felt like I was looking at them through a 93 Windows computer screen. It was just so distorted. There was lots of like interference, you know, that sort of VHS in like the scratchy. It was weird. And as I'm looking at them, I think time is moving so fast, but I'm not realizing maybe I'm on a different time that they're on, and they're just like this, like every time they're just changing positions, like, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like when I close my eyes, I'm in this. When I open my eyes, this is what I'm seeing. Like, how do I get out of here? I don't even know how I got here in the first place. Just remember thinking to myself, shit, like if I carry on going the way I'm going, I'm about to see some shit. I've seen other people talk about their experiences meeting aliens and entities and stuff, and I was excited to do that, but when I was there, I was not looking forward to any sort of activity which included meeting with other beings. At this point, I just closed my mind to what was going on. I kind of like was just like, bro, how do I get out of here? And maybe whatever was there knew I was in a lot of distress and a lot of panic, so they didn't want to reveal themselves. I don't know, but I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. At that point, I remember thinking to myself, wow, like I've been here for such a long time. I've been going down this road for like months. Like my mum must be thinking, where the hell did my daughter go? Like, where is she? She must be so worried about me. And in that moment, I started to feel as though I was starting to leave the experience. Like the fast lightning speed started to slow down. The colors started to kind of fade to black almost. And I just remember thinking, whew. I just remember feeling like a feather floating down from the sky and back into the flat, and then going down till I was back into my body. And then I was able to open my eyes, and when I opened my eyes, I could see everything like kind of like leveling back together, like as almost like the room was reconstructing itself to match the reality that I came from. It was strange, guys. It was so weird. I just remember thinking to myself, wow. And as soon as I was able to speak, that's all I could say. My friends were literally looking at me like this. What happened? Like, what happened? What happened? And I was just like, wow. Clueless, like clueless. Any other experience I've seen online, they've kind of been like, when they've had that sort of like breakthrough where they've felt like they were no longer in their body and out there in the universe, you know, they've always said like, I'm not going to do this for a couple of months or like another year. Like I just want to kind of figure out what this trip meant. So I totally get that. Only I'm never going to try it again, simply because I just feel like, you know, it took a couple months for me to kind of understand the journey, and I'll keep that to myself because it's very personal to me, kind of what I took away from that after months of just thinking about it for ages and then having a eureka moment. But you know, I was just kind of looking for answers for everything, and what DMT definitely showed me is that, bitch, whatever you think you know, you don't know. Like, and for a long time I wasn't okay with that. I just wanted to know all the world's secrets. I wanted to know everything. And after that experience, I was like, okay, universe, damn, you showed me I know nothing, and I'm actually okay with that. I'm okay with being the little speck of dust that I am in this whole machine, and just finding my purpose and living life to the fullest, and just trying to be a good person. And that's all I can do, and that's what I took away from the situation. You know, my friends, they kind of want to do it again, like, yeah, let's do it again. They felt like, you know, because there was a whole chain of events that happened after that we all felt was connected to it, the positive events that happened after that we all felt was kind of connected to taking DMT, which I could understand, because it almost was like anything that we wanted, we kind of got in that, like, literally the next day or a week later. Like, everything was sort of manifesting itself very quickly. So I get that, but I just feel like it's just such a sacred thing. It really is. I hope you enjoyed my video. I definitely will be doing a lot more, as I've said before in the last video. So yeah, just stay tuned, and thank you for listening to my DMT experience.